How do you know your marriage is too late to save? You may know that your life is a lot better with your wife and your family connected together, but a part of you may question or think it's possible to get things back to the way they were after years of hopelessness, of trying all these different strategies and nothing seems to work. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you the top 4 signs that your marriage is far too gone and you should just move on. My name is Josh Hudson. I'm a licensed marriage family therapist, and for the past 8 years, I've been helping hundreds of men find and keep their ideal relationships by becoming the best version of themselves. Now, a lot of times when you get married with a woman, things can happen and go wrong. Of course, that's a natural part being in a relationship. And oftentimes, a lot of men that I work with in my marriage mastery program, the first thing they kind of ask me is, Josh, how do I know if I put in all this energy and effort and time and money and all this stuff that she'll notice or she'll even care that I'm making these changes to the marriage? And that's a legitimate concern. I mean, why spend so much energy, time, and money if nothing's gonna work? So let me show you the 4 signs of guys in relationships that no matter what they did, their marriage would not be saved. All right, so the first sign that your marriage is too far gone and you shouldn't try to save it is if you think she is a narcissist, bipolar, depressed, any of those things. So we'll just put bipolar here, but use any of those. Now, the reason why your marriage is over if you think this is because you're failing to understand your responsibility in the problem. Let's use depression as an example. If I get on a call with a guy, which by the way, you can set up a call with me or my marriage evaluator down below to assess and how to save your marriage. But if I get on a call with a guy, what happens when a guy says, my wife's depressed and that's why things are falling apart? I say to him, you're right. Look, your wife is depressed and that's why things are falling apart. You know, we'll say that for falling apart. Or you can look at it the other way around. And the reason why she's depressed and upset and sad is because the marriage is falling apart. Because she used to have something stable, someone stable to come to go to with her problems. And when she no longer has that stable base and someone to make her feel better, it's depressing for her that she's losing her husband, her family. If we use a narcissistic example of the bipolar, let's use narcissism. I'm gonna do a whole video on this on the channel, so make sure you subscribe to get that video coming out soon. But when it comes to narcissism, you can think your wife is narcissistic, but really less than 1% of the population, way less than 1% of the population is actually narcissistic. But signs of a narcissist are selfish behavior. And in actuality, when your wife can no longer feel supported by you because of your actions, you don't make her feel safe, she has to be self-supportive and do things for herself to take care of herself because she cannot rely on you. So I'm letting you know that men that go on to save their marriage, they take responsibility for their actions. That's the main point I'm trying to make here. But if you're blaming your wife for all these things and that's why things are falling apart, you will never do what you need to do to win her back. Number 2, you cannot forgive her. Now, again, I know for a fact that coming along with this first one, it's taking your responsibility. I know she's not perfect, okay? I know that. I know she's made her fair share of mistakes as well. But here's the thing. Let me give you a perfect metaphor that makes sense, okay? I want you to imagine there's this cliff, okay? And here's your wife standing on top of the cliff, okay? She's looking down at you and she's thinking to herself, like, why aren't you climbing up? Because you're right here and you are hanging on for dear life. And this is you in the marriage, right? I don't know why you're smiling, but you're smiling, right? Maybe because you know you're gonna get some help from marriage mastery myself. So here's the thing. On one end, you don't wanna let go and fall down to this abyss, which is letting go of the marriage, because you're uncertain what's gonna happen in your life. And the fear of the unknown is really scary. This is why people stay in jobs that are kind of mediocre to them. They know they could deserve better. They're not happy at their job, but they don't want to quit because what if they can't find a job as good as that? So a lot of men, they don't want to let go and move on, but also they don't want to climb up and do the work of getting their wife back because they think that she pushed them over. So they're sitting there holding on in this purgatory state of, I want to save my marriage, but I'm kind of blaming my wife and I'm not going to put all my effort into it. Now, the way this comes across is also men who look for information, but they're not taking real action, or they're not truly forgiving their wife for the things that have happened, forgiving themselves for the things you have done in the past to move forward. Because if you're constantly looking at the past, of all the things she's done wrong to you, you're going to treat her in the present to make sure that that past continues on into the future. If you focus on the past mistakes she's done and you cannot let that go, you're focusing on what's already happened, and in the present moment, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. So the second thing you need to do in order to save your marriage is to forgive her, because if you can't, it's too far gone. The third sign that I know your marriage is too far gone, it's not worth saving, and it's over, is you follow her lead. Now, what do I mean by this? Sometimes this can directly mean that you're literally looking for her to make the decisions in the marriage, which is a big problem when it comes to polarity. I have a whole video on it right here that you can check out at the end of this video as well. But when I say follow her lead, what I mean is you are in reaction to her. This is one of the first major corrections we take with men in the marriage mastery program, is that as a guy, if you're coming in and you're saying, What do I do? What do I say if she does this? What do I do if she does this? How do I talk to her if she's this way? You're basing who you are, your actions, your thoughts and feelings based on her approval. And a woman will only be with a man that she looks up to and follows his lead. The feminine follows, the masculine leads. If you're living in reaction to her and you're waiting to gauge your behaviors based on the way she is being, then you are in the feminine state. And if you are in the feminine state, she has to take the masculine lead. And that's why there's a disconnect. You must learn to know exactly what to do, what to say in every given scenario, take the lead, and then she will follow you again. If you need help with that, again, the link is down below. We have limited spots each week of calls we can take with men. So if you're serious about saving your marriage and need help, check that out. The fourth sign that it's over, it's too far gone, is that you need her. You may be saying to yourself, Josh, what do you mean? Of course I need my wife. There's a big distinction between wanting your wife in your life and needing her. Now, over time, what happened is that in the beginning, when you first attracted her, you didn't need her, I guarantee you. You see, women respond to men who want them in their life but don't need them. That is the optimal state to be in. This means not compromising who you are just to make her happy. Let me read you a quote that really accurately sums up this whole entire thing from the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. He says, you are only punishing yourself when you want to be in a relationship with a woman more than she wants to be in a relationship with you. This is a fact of relationships between men and a woman. She should be pursuing you. She should always look up to you. She should be more in reaction to you. As the man, you are on your purpose. You are doing what you are doing in life. You are guiding the ship, you are leading it, and she is following you. The reason why a lot of men become needy is because they invest so much of themselves into the marriage, into the relationship, and they have no other aspects of their life that their whole identity becomes wrapped up in being a husband. And you forgot to do the things that attracted her in the first place, of having this well-balanced life. Neediness is one of the 4 killers of attraction for a woman. Now, again, at the very end, I'm gonna let you know, if you need help overcoming all of these 4 things to save your marriage, to have a thriving relationship, set up a call with me down below. Thank you for watching the video. Smash like if you enjoy videos like this, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.